In the After Effects link composition, create a new layer. Select Effects, RG Trapcode Particular. The Effect Control panel opens. Open the Layer Emitter section. Next to Emitter Type, select Layer. Expand the layer emitter and select the linked layer from 3ds Max. Notice a light is created at the top of the layer stack. Our particles appear far away from the emitter. There's a bug, and the layer emitter doesn't seem to work properly. But we can use the new light as a workaround. Unlock the light layer, select the name and type Enter. Copy the name to the clipboard. Now change the emitter type to Lights. Click OK. Click Choose Names, and in the dialog, paste the name you copied earlier. The particles now emit from the right location. Set particles per second to 200. Set emitter size to 60. Set velocity to 100. Velocity random to 15%. And velocity from emitter to 20. Now let's set up the particles themselves. Set life to 2.2 seconds. Set life random to 50%. For particle type, choose Sprite and click the button. I like to use the Smoke Loop 3 sprite. Particular ships with lots of different sprites, so feel free to experiment. Set particle size to 150. Then expand the size over life section. Create a graph where the particle grows over time. Now, set the opacity to 50% and expand the opacity over life rollout. Start at less than 100% and curve down to 0 at the end. Set the color to dark brown. Uncheck Unmult and expand the sprite controls. Set colorize to 90% and color fill to 35. Now let's bring in our rendered footage and create our mask. Import the rendered frames and the object ID frames. Right-click on the RGBA frames and select Interpret Footage. Choose Ignore Alpha and click OK. Do the same for the object ID. I use alpha for other visual effects, but that's for another lesson. Move the color footage to the bottom of your layer stack. Now duplicate it and move that above the smoke layer. Now place the object ID frames on top of the duplicate. With the object ID layer selected, choose Effect, Obsolete, Color Key. Use the eyedropper to sample the ID. Set color tolerance to 10 and edge feather to 2. Now select the layer beneath and set Track Matte to the Object ID layer. Click Invert. We have successfully layered in our smoke effect. Trapcode is a bit buggy and taxing on system resources. To avoid crashing, I don't use multiple particle systems in a single composition. Instead, I render to AVI with an alpha channel. This speeds things up and improves stability. Now let's encode it so we can edit it like any other footage. Hide all layers except particles. Assign Track Matte to the ID layer. Add it to the render queue. In the render queue, click the link next to Output module. Set Format to AVI, as that allows us to isolate the smoke with an alpha channel. Set channels to RGB plus alpha. Click OK. Click Output. Select a file name and click OK. Now click Render. We don't need the particles anymore. Create a new composition using the rendered frames. Import the AVI and drag it on top. Now adjust opacity and tweak color settings until you are satisfied. To make your finished product look even better, add motion blur, color adjustments, and camera rumble, all inside of After Effects. Look out for more lessons to follow. I hope you liked this video. Comments are welcome. Join our community for access to lesson files, news on upcoming lessons, webinars, and more.